Hey, Trailview Church, Pastor Derek here. We just wanted to create these videos each month to kind of lead you into what's happening the next month and share some cool things with you that we think are significant for the life of Trailview Church. This month, it's the significance of gathering together. I love Sunday mornings. I love it because I know, because every Sunday when I gather together with you, I'm going to be reminded of the gospel. In response to my failures and shortcomings over the last week, to be reminded of who I am and who Jesus is. And before the anxieties and burdens that I'm already carrying ahead of me into the next week, to be reminded of the gospel is so significant and important to my own personal life. And I know that when I gather here with you, I'm reminded of those things. But in addition to that, I know that every week when I gather together with you as a church, I'm gathering together with the people who love me, who I tangibly experience on those Sunday morning gatherings, the beauty and the fruit of the gospel, that I can be honest, that I can let my burdens that I'm carrying go and know that the people that I'm gathered with here are going to love me in light of the gospel. And this is a beautiful thing that the church is unique in. It's a beautiful thing because it's the fruit of the gospel tangibly felt among us. And so, in light of that, I want to give you three particular reasons why weekly gatherings should be and are a significant aspect of your life here at Trailview Church. One, your delight in Jesus. Gathering together as a particular church is significant to your delight and joy that you experience on a daily and weekly basis here at Trailview and in your life as a Christian. And it's essential because it's essential for the health and your well-being as a believer, for your soul. And one pastor said it this way: none of us are neutral. We're either drifting away from the Lord or we're moving towards the Lord. And our gathering each week helps to kind of nudge us in community together towards Jesus and not away from him. COVID is probably one of the most easy or intangible ways in which we've experienced the negative impacts of not gathering together over the last 18 months. And so each week when you gather here at Trailview Church, you're reminded of the truths of the gospel, who you are, who God is in relationship with you, which is an essential component to you finding and having a regular, just felt delight, satisfaction, and joy in Jesus. And it's essential for you to be led into deeper delight in Jesus. So each week in our weekly worship gatherings, it's essential to your delight in Jesus that you gather with God's people. That's the first one, for your delight in Jesus. The second one is others' delight in Jesus. Gathering together is not only good for your soul, but it's good for the souls of others that are gathered with us. It's one of the primary means by which the Holy Spirit works to cultivate a deeper delight in us, is when we are with one another. That you being here helps create deeper delight in Jesus in others. Paul uses these words to talk about the significance of gathering as a church. He says, I long to gather with you so that I may depart some grace to you. Or speaking about the spiritual gifts, he wants to be with the church so that they might be built up by the practice of the spiritual gifts. That when you think about the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, gentleness, kindness, self-control, all those things, they're meant to be practiced like the one another commands in community, where we then are built up in delight in Jesus, finding joy and satisfaction in him. And so when we gather together, it's not just for our own soul's benefit, but it's for the benefit of one another. And so when we sing, the words we speak to one another in encouragement, our actions, even our facial expressions, are significant means that the Holy Spirit uses when we gather together to cultivate deeper delight in one another through our gatherings. It's a tangible way, unlike preaching, where you every single Sunday get to gather and help cultivate deeper delight in the other members and people here at Trailview Church. So one, for your delight in Jesus. Two, for the others' delight in Jesus. And three, it's wrapped up in what we're supposed to be about and doing, and that's the mission to make disciples. The third reason gathering is significant is because Jesus has called us to be disciples who make disciples, to be ambassadors, representatives of Jesus, and disciple makers. So we live in an increasingly anxious and lonely world. COVID's only rapidly made that more obvious. It's exacerbated it, made it worse. And the gospel of our culture is that self-indulgence will bring delight or satisfaction and joy. And everywhere we turn, progressively, that secular gospel of self-indulgence, everywhere we turn, right and left, is failing. And it's failing in such a way that we see in places in our country that are farther away down the road, progressing away from Christianity into post-Christian culture. We're seeing return to religion, return to church, because people long for a connection, even a transcendent connection that they can't find in self-indulgence. And so each week when we gather in vulnerable, authentic, honest community centered around the freedom and joy and grace we found in the gospel of Jesus, we cultivate a compelling community. So when we gather each week as a church on Sundays, our neighbors, our friends, our coworkers, longing for genuine, real, transcendent connection with people, with something greater outside of themselves, we have that here. And so when we gather together, we create an atmosphere where they can experience tangibly the gospel of Jesus Christ, where they can hear the good news of Jesus, where there is a transcendent God who's come, where they can find freedom, grace, joy, and delight in him. And so when we gather every Sunday, we create an atmosphere where people can meet Jesus. And so, in conclusion, three among many reasons why it's significant, I'd say even essential, that we prioritize gathering together as a church for your delight in Jesus, for others' delight in Jesus, and for the mission to make disciples of Jesus. I love you all and can't wait to be with you this Sunday. Check below this video and you can see some of the things that are happening this month at Trailview.